Hi guys, welcome all of you on this 12th session of our series. And just give me 1 minute. Yeah. So in the previous session, what we have covered the SSH thing and how we can do the SSH. I have shown you the demo of passwordless authentication, how you can do that. That are the things which I have covered. And before going on the today's topic, I have some basic prerequisite like which you can and some problems which we can solve by the today's topic. Okay, if you remember, we have installed one OS inside our VM and EC2's machine. So if you at the time of installation, we added one disk on the OS. So, what's the need of this that disk? So, as you know, in the OS image, we have multiple packages which we are copying inside our disk, and we are executing from the disk. That's the thing which we call as a installation. But the thing is, like this disk is used for the your OS thing. You can store other data also there. But the thing is, like, what happened if anything happened with your OS and your OS got corrupted? You can't able to use that OS, and what you will do at that time? Many time it's happened like we got some attack and some viruses in our system which affect our OS, and the solution of that we have to reinstall the OS. But at that time, the data which we have inside our OS, that will be we lose. So how we can prevent that, and how we can? So basic thing is like we can what you can do in our uh, VMO system. We are using one disk for our OS image. We called as a root disk. Root disk, and in this root disk we have all the if you have used disk, and if you have any disk in your system, the root disk, it will be denoted by the slash. What the means of slash? Like the slash is to having the this is the path of your root disk. If I can show you in my command prompt. So if you see, it's start from the C slash. So it's like a partition. I am not going on. Wait. So I have three disk right now, CDE in my system. But I'm not going for that. I just have to. If you see, this is my main disk, which are around 512 gigs. And if you see, I have created a three part in this, but this is a slash. And how I can show you, let me open up our VM. So there we can go more depth inside, and I can show you much more things. Let me just check the page. It was only okay, perfect. Yeah, by the meantime it's opening, we can go on the other topics, right? If you so it denoted by slash. It's So the root disk is denoted by the slash. So this is the initial path where you can start the streaming. So if we have the things like if anything happened with our OS, and so we can, so the basic thing what we have, we can attach one more disk on the system, and we will use this disk to store our data. So what we are doing, we are using one disk for installing the OS, and second is for storing data. So this disk we can call like we can store our data. This is like our secondary disk which we are using. This is our primary one where we are storing that. This is our secondary one where we are storing our data. And if I do about the disk, so in the storage, I am taking Linux and the AWS thing in parallel. Uh, in the storage, so what is the disk is a one kind of storage. In the storage, we have a three kind of storage. First is block storage, second is object storage, and third is file storage. So the disk which we are using is inside the block storage, and object and file, like I will talk about these two in future. Today we are covering the block. So this is the block storage, and that's why in the AWS also we have a one service called the EBS, which full means Elastic Block Storage. So why they use the Elastic, like the same way they use EC2. So Elastic Compute Service they have. So what the means of Elastic? So AWS have the feature of elasticity. That means you can increase the size on the dynamic time, and you have the EC2 instance, and you can change the instance type at any point of time. So you have the elasticity feature. That's why they told elastic storage. And block storage, like the same way you have the feature of elasticity. That's why they use the word EBS and elastic block storage. So what we are doing, I will show the demo in the Linux how you can use the additional storage, and what are the prerequisite which we have to use, and what we can do. So what let me quickly show you the slash drive. After that I will attach a one more storage in this. So storage topic, like we have multiple things with the storage word, and if I don't like, if we have a storage cluster, we have multiple things and number of things we have. So if I can show you what we have, tf-st. So with this command you can see, and if you see, what is this? This is our root disk which we have attached in the system, and if you want, this is around 44 gigs is showing. Yeah, it's I think we have attached around 50 gigs here. So we have this, and you told like what we have attached the 50 gigs, and why it's showing for only 44 gigs. So we have a one more command, lsblk, that means list block. So if you now you will see 50 gigs, the whole disk, and inside this we have a this SDA SD2, and inside that we have a two more. So what is this block? So why it's called like a block and this thing, list block. And so see, the thing is, this is the, we can't use disk directly in our system, like we attach and we use, we can't do that thing. So what we have to do, this is the block one, so we have to create the block from that, and from that block we will use. And I will talk you something. So let what we have to, I am doing, I am just adding a one more disk in my system. How we can add? Go to the settings. In the storage tab, you are seeing this controller SATA hard disk. So SATA is like a one type of hard. If you go here, in this one is the for the optical, this for the drive. If you go here, you will see add create. So I am just creating a virtual disk. And I am just creating for the 20 gigs. I am creating, and I will choose it. So see, I have a two disk. One is our root one, and then this one. This I have a 20 gigs, and this one I have the size of uh, 50 gigs. So what I have done, I have attached it, but I can't right now. I can't use this in our system. Why I can't use? Uh, the thing is, if you remember, I have just run the command tf. Sorry, I run the command ls blk. So in this one, you have seen multiple things, like you have a label storage, what the size of that, what the disk. If you seen one last field called the mount point. So what is mount point? If you mean like there was in the root one, it shows the slash. So mount point is the that path from where we can use their disk. So it doesn't matter like if you have a like for example, you have a slash drive and you are using root disk here, and here slash bob slash. So in this path, although it's inside the slash, but it might be you are using a different storage here. For example, I'm using SDA1. So you can use anything. So it doesn't mean like what's the path means. Uh, how like how you are seeing the path, it depends how their the path is mounted. Okay, so it's not like always if you are inside any folder, so you are inside there is that storage also. Uh, the file system structure and this storage structure, it will different. You can't compare both of it, and I will show. So I'm saying we have the disk, we can't use it directly. Why? So as we know, we this is a block list. So what we have to do, we have to first create the block from this disk. Okay. Sometimes we call as a partition. We call the block. We call it like. Uh, and after that, what we are doing, uh, uh, we have created the block. So a block can be, I said like. So if you uh, remember like the basic diagram, if I show you something, it's something like this. So like for example, if you I have created the 20 gigs of uh, size storage. So it doesn't matter like you are creating the 20 disk, you are using 20 gigs of disk there, so you can create the block of 20 gigs only. So it doesn't matter, you can create the block of every size, but it depends, like you can't create anything. So the thing is, if you know about the storage thing, there we have something called the track, structure, sector. So that sector, cell, uh, we have. So I am going storage disk, something like here. Yeah, this diagram I am talking about. No, not this one. That's one. Yeah, this thing I am talking about. So if you see disk sectors, exactly the diagram. So if you are able to see in the storage, if you know, in the disk we have in the hard disk we have about how we can uh, we have a disk and multiple disk attached in the stack. The traditional hard disk which we have, I'm talking about that, and this we store in the block. So that in every disk we have some kind of thing. So if you are seeing this, what we have, the first thing, if you are, well, like if you remember, uh, um, if you remember, like did you know about the earlier we used the gramophone kind of thing. So what we have there for playing the songs, we use the disc. And inside the disc, what we have is stored the songs. So sometimes we will say that change the music, change the song. So for that we use the word called the track. Change the track. So what the track actually mean, and at that time how we are changing it. So what we have, if you know, in the we have a one pin there, and what we are doing, we are just changing the position of the pin here to here. So it will change the tracks. So at that time, like, it's not like there is we have the song and we are just changing so the track is like this disc is moving in the circular path. And for example, if I am putting the center here and I am rotating this disc and I am putting pin here, so this is the one track, and then I am putting here, this is a second. So every circle in the store, if you see one circle of this way, it called the as a track. Okay. And I think you will see with this is called the track. And yeah, apart from, like if you see the smaller unit, we have this, what we have, this thing we called as a cell. So this is the smaller unit we called is a what, not this one, we call as a cell. So the every data which we are storing here, we are storing in one cell. Okay, here you can store and here you can store the data. And if you are seeing these big lines which is there, so this is the what, mm, what we have wait, okay. So if you see this, this is a one sector, this part whole and is one sector. So it's not like you can create the block size of here. So at least the smallest size which you have, which you can create, the block is a one sector. So you can use this part, or you can use multiple part, and you can say that this is our sector. Although we are storing data in this way, but we are just creating the block in this. Okay, so this is the size of this is the way how we are storing data. And in every cell, uh, what we can do, we can store one byte of one bit of data, not byte. Okay, so if you know, that's why we have, if you remember, the thing is like how we are storing this data in the storage, and how this size is changing. If you remember, like we have one bit, two, three. So the thing is like if you know, we have the one bit and two bit. This is the electric signals, and it's like we can say that we have one bit, and in this way it's increasing. So that's why we have a like if you remember, like we have a storage, like we have a right now I have in my system 512 gigs of storage. And so if I want to increase, I can't increase like 520 like 513 514. So it will like I all what I can know, I can use the 512 and 12 gigs storage, or apart from that, like I have to use the 1028 gigs of storage, that we call the 1 TB. So it's working like because of the bit architecture which we have. So we can just double the things. And apart from that, uh, the thing is, so we have created the block, but after the block we can't I have to mount it. And if you don't know the means of mount, mount is like just linking the disk to a one path so we can use it. We can't mount it because the thing is, if you know, uh, this is an empty disk and we have created the part, but the thing is, we don't know how we can store the files and data here. It's because of in the storage we have one table called the inode table. This inode table store the data of your data. It's like a metadata for your data. So every time once you search on any, you click on any file and you are just trying to run it. So what we will do? We don't know the size of that. We don't know about the, because in the storage world we have a this kind of thing. So we have to tell to the system like we are starting any file here and it will end here. So it's like all the this whole data, this whole path I am using for the storage of our one file, and after that we have a other file. So how we can start, like in which location, like in which cell location we started the file, and what's like where we are ending the file. So that are the things which is, and what will be the size of file, maximum minimum size. So it depends. For that what we have, inode table. So in this table we are storing that data. And uh, how we can create the inode table? So what we have to do, we have to yeah, we have to format the disk, not the block. So the block we also call the partition many times. That's why if in my system I can show you. So, okay, because of heating. Just give me if you see, we have a blog page. It's in like a blog healthy. It's in healthy blog page file, uh, data partition. So it's from like data partition we have, and this is our disk. So uh, status you can see, capacity you can see, free space percentage. And if you see that here you see the file system. So file system is like we are creating the inode table. For creating that we have to uh, create the we have to format the disk, and I'm not doing that thing in my here. If you see, if you see this, if I can say df hyphen st. So if you see, you will not able to see our disk right now, which we have attached. But why? Because this command is not. And if you see in the lsblk, we will not able to see that also. You see, yeah, uh, we are creating, yeah, this is this uh, CRT SDB, and we are not having any mount point here. So if we don't have, we can't mount it. So what we have to do, we have to first create. So for that we have one command, fdisk, uh, and hyphen l we have. So if you see, you can see all the details of that, like sectors, size, what we have, 512 bytes, and IO size. So it's like in the 1 second how you can do get the uh, data from in which speed, and the you can see the whole thing. So if you use fdisk hyphen h, so it will show you the all the uh, respective command. So how you can create the partition and change partition tables, and so with this way we can do. And if you so see the manual of this command, so you will see how you can create the partition. Other also you will get the more information. You can add the labels on the things. So with this way you can do. And it will also refer the other thing like cfds, mkfs, parts. So you can also use this command. So this is the like a help for you. If you want to use, you can use it. Okay. So what I am doing, I am doing fdisk, and I am giving the path of our So just what I'm in F disk, and then what's the name of that? It's dev slash sdb. Okay, if you see, we are changing the create a m for help. So we can press m. It will give you the all the things, like you want to create the partition, you want to list the partition types. Uh, so multiple things you can do. And for the save, we have a w, and if you want to quit, we can quit. So what I have to do, I have to add a new partition. Okay, so what I'm doing new. It's like primary extended. So we can use the two type of partition, primary and extended. So I will talk about this thing later on. And you can also check something about that. I'm using right now the primary one, and if you don't select, it will select the primary as a default. And then it's like the partition number, so you can give any number, primary one to 1 to 4. If you don't give, the default will be 1, and if you have the 1 already created, so it will prompt you for the 2. Okay, so then it is our first sector. And the first sector is like started from the uh, 2048 bits, and the initial uh, as from 0 to 2017, we are storing some data of our partition. So this data, like where is the partition starter, partition size, what will type of partition, so that are the things which we are storing in this data. So that's why it's showing the first sector. And the set, it will prompt the last sector. So last sector is uh, like till where you want the size. So you can give a as the sector number also, or you can give a like say size in the k. It's like k bit. It's not byte. It's k bit. K, MB and GB. It's a GIB, and MIB and KIB. We have some difference the in the calculation. So it's a GIB. So what I am doing, I am giving a 6 G. Okay, sorry. I have to give a like this way plus 6 G. Yeah. So see, it's created the one partition with the uh, 5, 5 GIB. And what I am doing, I'm just saving this. And now if I show you ls with the ls required, you will see one disk is created with the. So if you see, we have the type partition, we don't have the disk, so we can use this and we can mount it anywhere. And for mounting it, we have to create the format. So what I am doing, first mkdir, I am giving the one I'm creating one directory, mount point, something kind of. If you see, we have one directory called the this mount point we have, and if I try to use mount, what will the block name? It's SDB1. So mount tab slash SDB1 to mount point. You will see, okay, it's SDB. See, wrong FS type, a bad, and so bad super block. So it's like we don't have we can't mount it because the thing is it don't have the file system, and that's why it's showing a wrong FS type. FS type is a file system type. So how we can create the FS type? We have a one card mkfs, and if you do double tap, you will see multiple format type. You have a ext4, you have a fat, you have a vfat, xfs, you have multiple. What I am using, I am using ext4, and what we have to do, we just have to give our storage partition right? And this. So if you see, creating like make process, this is a command right? So inside that it's like running this one and creating the file system with this 4k blocks and this inodes. So if you it's creating the inode table here, and the idea of file system is this super block backup store blocks in this block, and allocated group walls, writing tables, inode writing table done. It's like all things is done. So if I can show you now lsblk, so it is having this partition, and now we can use it. T yeah, we are not mounting right now here. That's why it's showing this. So once I am running now this command, it will run fine. See, it didn't throw any error. And if you see, we have added SDB here in the mount part. And if we are going in the mount part, and if you see, we don't have loss. This is like loss of form. It will create a bunch of formatting if you create this directory by default. I am creating some dummy files. Name A B C D. I am creating 4 at a one time. If you see, we have created one file, and if you see, these are the things, and I can also show the tree command. So see, so this is a file system abstraction, and if I go and run the tree command here, so you will see a lot of file like which file and which directory in which folder. So it's like we have a lot of files, so it will show all the files present in the system in the structure way. What's the structure of that? So I don't want to see all the things and just read it a command, but with this way you can. And what I am doing, I am creating the one directory new, and I am going inside the new. If you see, we don't have any file right now here. What I am doing, I am going to a, and what I have done, I have unmounted that. So if I can show you, See, we don't have the mount one, but it doesn't mean like we don't have the data. We have the data. And what I am doing, I am using a mount tab SDP one to the what directory we have created. We have created the new, and if now I am going in the new, you will see your all data. So is the thing like if you term or is that terminated, you can unmount this directory from there. You can use it anywhere else. So uh, we use this thing a lot. Like my time when we have to take our data from the corrupted OS, we will just remove that disk from there and attach in the new one and mount it. So with that way, you can use data more persistent, more reliable. So if your OS gets corrupted, you can use. So in the AWS also, you can do the same thing. How you can create? I am just showing the EBS. So the same thing you can password I have saved here. Let me get the MFA code. Just give me a minute. So if you are going in the EC2 page, you will see electric plus storage. If you go in the volumes, so from here you can create the volume. It's the same way which we are created in the way. You can give the size. So it's the chargeable one. If you are using the more than 30 gigs of, uh, so don't give. You can create a 1 gig of for the testing, and this is the IOs. So it depends upon like how much size you are doing. It will change the IOs, and you can create in which availability zone you have to create. If you are like you don't create the volume, if you want to create the snapshot also, you can create it at the same time. You can encrypt this volume, you can add it, so you can use it. And after that, in the EC2 page, I'm not doing showing you this demo, but you can try it. And this is like one kind of practical which you can do. You can launch instance. If you go, these are the things which I have already. If you see, you can attach the new volume. And if I am going in the advanced section, what you can do, you can attach new volume. So these are the things like EBS volume, where you what will the device name, snapshot ID, type. You can use these things here. Also, what you can do, you can mount it the other which are already created one here also. So that thing you can do. If you face any problems, you can pick us and we will help you for this. So you can try this thing. If you have face any queries, you have any doubts, so you can ping on the group, and you can directly ping me on my LinkedIn page, LinkedIn profile. So I think this is the that's all for today. You can practice this concept and try to do it with the EC2 and the EBS service. And if you are like face any issues, then I will show that demo also in the upcoming session. And by the meantime, you can revise all the concepts, and we will meet on the next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.